Welcome to the Build a Lifestyle podcast, where we're going to talk about building your lifestyle. We're going to talk about money, family, relationships, health and fitness, spiritual and self-development, and experience. What are you doing for fun? What are we doing to experience this life that we're here to do? So welcome to the show. I'm your host, Michael Burns. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Build a Lifestyle, the podcast. I'm your host, Mike Burns. So I got Brendyn Pepper, a little cheesy, a little assistant. But no, dude, welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming on. So Brendyn, kid's killing it. He's 20 years old and fucking just absolutely slaying it. I'm super proud of you, bro. You've come so far the last year or so that I've known you. But tell everyone a little bit about you.
Yeah, man. So I actually got into the game of business and real estate when I was 17. I was in high school and just knew it wasn't for me. So I was in and out of high school, left high school. I was trying to make it work. Couldn't figure anything out. Was trying jobs, just was not doing well. Ended up going back, graduating early, and jumping right into real estate. I started with wholesaling, went from wholesaling, started collecting money, then hired mentors to learn how to flip. And
so real quick, I'm going to slow that down. His first time on the camera, he's a little shy. So you did your first deal when you were 17 in your mom's name. Mm-hmm. Like, what kind of deal was it? And, like, how did you... I mean, nobody that I know or that I've met has been doing deals when they were 17 years old. That's a really unique thing that stands out. So,
right.
How did the deal happen?
So I was out there driving for dollars. I found the deal. It was like my third cold call in was a hot lead. She said she wanted to sell. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just asking an agent, hey, what's this worth? Just trying to figure it out. I knew no idea. I actually learned from Brent Daniels how to run numbers.
Okay.
And I took his formula, ARV times 0.70 minus rehab. I had no idea what the rehab was. I just did, I think, $45 a square foot. Came up at $260. I offered the seller that. I was able to wholesale it at $270 about 4 days later.
So you made 10 G's on your first deal?
Yeah. At
17. So where did you... Because most people at 17, they're like trying to finish high school and maybe going to prom, and you're out, wholesaling real estate deals. So have you always had that just driven mindset, or what happened, or what was happening in your life, or why were you interested in wholesaling real estate or getting into real estate at 17?
So how I actually got introduced into wholesaling was actually from Jimmy Rex. I was working at Smith's and my aunt knew Jimmy and said, hey, I'm going to connect you guys.
What's funny, dude, is this is Jimmy's studio
that
we're in.
That's what's crazy. But anyways, yeah, my aunt connected us. I got on a phone call with him, and I said, hey, man, I want to be an agent. I see you're crushing it. And he said, no, look into wholesaling. Call me back in a couple days. I left Smith's right after that call, went home, got on YouTube, and started looking at wholesaling real estate. Started taking notes, just diving deep into it for a couple of days. And then I found this guy on Facebook. His name was Jan Plum. $50 a phone call. He started teaching me how to run comps through Zillow, which we can't do in Utah because it's a non-disclosure, so that didn't work. Started teaching me how to run comps, how to look for deals, what makes a deal and what doesn't, and really just was teaching me basics of real estate, but I didn't get much from it. Did about 5 calls with him, and then I found Driving for Dollars from Brent Daniels on YouTube. So then I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube, Brent Daniels, Pace Morby, and all these other dudes, and just started learning from them. Went out, drove for dollars, probably found about 150 properties in Ogden, and then was hand dialing them.
So from the time that you had that conversation with Jimmy to Driving for Dollars, how much time went by?
90 days.
So that was 3 months or 90 days.
I got my first deal within 90 days.
Okay. So for all of you guys listening to that or follow me, his first deal in 90 days. What's crazy about that is it took me and my brother 94 offers in a year to get our first deal.
Right.
And I would say the difference of what you were doing versus what I was doing is your outbound action was way more aggressive than mine.
Right.
Like I was going to RIAs and I was learning about shit. I would say the difference is looking at your first deal story versus my first deal story is we were a year and 94 offers because we were probably learning for 3-4 months at least before we were writing offers. And you're like writing offers, within a week?
Yeah, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was just fucking went for it. There was no telling me no, I was going to do it, just a matter of when.
So guys, are you hearing that? And I mean, this is for us too, because we're doing stuff together now, and I'm always talking about outbound action.
Right.
And that's literally the separator of you getting a deal done in 90 days and it taking me a year to get a deal done. So, but taking action, that's awesome, dude. So back to where you're at, you do your first wholesale deal. And so you're 17 at that point, you're 90 days in, and another thing too, that I want to point out that you mentioned, that's a big deal and that I'm talking about all the time though too, is you're working on yourself, self-development. You're going out and getting skills, so not all, like, self-development could be learning skills. It could be working on yourself, like just anything with that.
Improving.
Yeah. So as you got exposure to Jimmy and he told you something, you took action based on what he said.
Right.
And then based on what he told you, you started looking into wholesaling, and then you start finding, Pace Morby, Brent Daniels, some of these other guys on YouTube. And based on that information, you start taking more action. So what I've noticed you do, even all the way up until today, so this is 3 years later, 4 years later, you've consistently gotten new information, taken action, and then seen, based on where that's led you, more information comes, and then you take more action off of that.
Yeah, and I think with that is, dude, I make a lot of mistakes. Sometimes I'm not aware. We talk about this all the time. Sometimes I don't listen to everything. But I think my biggest thing for me is I just take action. If I fuck up, I learn from it, I move on. And if I do good, I keep doing it, and I think people get caught up when they fuck up and put themselves down. And I just take the lesson and move forward.
Yeah, it took me a long time to learn that one lesson, but it's like failing is part of the deal.
Right.
So again, and today, so I like that we're talking about this, because I was actually thinking about making a podcast specifically on this. But today I was at the gym working out, and it was a trainer at the gym was on the machine next to me, and he was talking to a client, whoever it was, and he kept saying over and over, he's like, yeah, I suck at social media. I suck at marketing. Like, I'm not good at social media. And he was like on the topic for like 5 minutes, like enough to where I didn't have my headphones today. So that's why I was listening to this conversation. But it's like, yeah, dude, you fucking suck at marketing because, number one, you're not doing it, and you continually tell yourself that you suck. And it's like, no one's going to be good at anything right out the gate. Like, you're going to suck. Like, my podcast, hopefully each episode's gotten better, but like my podcasts, they suck. Like, in 5 years, I'm going to look back and be like, those were terrible.
Right.
Because I am where I am right now. And it's like the ability to be willing to be new at something and understand that it's going to take time. You're going to suck at it. Like, you have to go through that process before you're good. And I think that's the thing that gets in most people's way, whether it's this guy at the gym wanting to do social media for his marketing, or you doing a real estate deal, is like the fear of failure or the experience of failure. I think that paralyzes probably 80 to 90% of the people from actually taking action on that first thing.
Well, yeah. And I think you succeed more when you fail.
Why do you say that?
Because when I fail and I fuck up and I make a mistake or I'm losing money, I take that lesson and implement it back into the business and grow more, right? Like, trying to think of a good example of from you watching me over the past year, where have I made mistakes, corrected them, and gotten better? Like, what's something that you've seen?
Well, I mean, with what you're talking about with making mistakes, I think, they say hard lessons because most lessons hurt because, when you're going through life and everything's just normal or status quo, right? You have to have a pattern interrupt most of the time to catch your attention to learn a lesson. Right. So that's usually why they say lessons are hard, because you have a pattern interrupt or a hard situation or something that's inconvenient. You lose money. You get your ass screamed at by me on deals, or, contractors walking on us or whatever it might be. So I think that you learn by doing, or the whole saying that you fail forward. But yeah, for me, my biggest losses, my biggest challenges, the hardest things that I've faced in life have also been my greatest lessons, and they've developed me and built me into a whole nother level of human being. I mean, especially this last couple of years for me has been super challenging with a tough market, going through this long drawn out divorce that sucks, like having some hard relationships that fall out,
Right.
different business challenges. Like when you're managing all of that stuff, then the heart situation in the ICU, you have this immense amount of pressure. It's like you have two options. You can fucking fold and quit, which is never an option, or you got to get better. Like that's just the reality. You have to get better.
And I think that's what separates the real from the fake. A lot of people want to talk about it and want to do all these things in business, and then something happens and they fold.
Yeah, I mean, that's adversity is probably one of the strongest things because, the different Arate, like I've been around the mentors I try to be around, like Andy Frisella, Ed Milet, Grant Cardone, Mark Evans, these guys who are way further down the line in business and life and way more experienced than I am. They all consistently say that same thing is like adversity is where you find the new best version of you. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there is growing without the failure or without the adversity.
Right. And that, I mean, the whole growing and self-development, that's something I really learned from you. 2 years ago, I was not focused on self-development at all. I was just chasing money and
Well, let's talk through that, man. Like, I appreciate you saying that. And self-development's what I preach all day, every day, that in relationships. But with the self-development, like how has that helped you and benefited you? Like talk through your self-development process from being 17, making 10 grand on your first wholesale, probably thinking you're a fucking gangster. You just made 10 G's
I thought
on
it
a
was
deal.
the shit.
From there all the way to where you are today and that process, like just talk about, when self-development came in, what you do with it, how it's benefited you.
Well, I'll tell you exactly when self-development came in. I met you last year around September. And that's when, before then, I was going to the gym. I was eating like shit, reading a book here and there, and just thought I was growing, right? And I was watching all my videos on YouTube and just thought I was becoming a better man.
Well, you were.
I was, yeah. But I wasn't. I don't feel like I was in alignment doing the right stuff, if that makes sense. Now, when I met you, we got clear on what needs to happen. Hey, you need to read this book. You need to wake up early. You need to read your books. You need to journal. You need to do the work, right? And I think once I started doing those things, my body started changing. Just everything around me changed. My environments. I got a beautiful chick in my life now. Like everything has changed for the better because I got rid of the bad habits and just implemented good things in the self-development.
So some of the stuff that you're doing, you launched a lot there, but so you started reading books consistently?
Daily.
Daily?
10 pages minimum a day.
Yeah, and that comes from Andy Frisella's 75 Hard program.
Right.
One of my favorite things about being on that is the reading 10 pages every day.
Right.
Because it's super easy to do and it's really easy not to do. It's
Right.
But 10 pages, in a month you burn through a book. Mm-hmm. If you do that consistently, you're going to read 10 to 15 books in a year.
Right. And you do that over the years, it's compounding.
Yeah. Okay. So
I don't know. I would say from 17 to 19, I was chasing money. I didn't give a fuck about the self-development. It wasn't even a thing in my focus. Like I would show up, I'd go to the gym, I'd lift, I'd leave the gym and eat like shit.
Yeah.
When you're eating like shit, your body runs like shit. Now I'm eating clean. I feel like I don't know. I look at my body as like an engine. Uh-huh. Am I going to put 85 or 91? And 91's healthy food, 85's bad food. I'm choosing 91 every time.
So you're down, how much weight are you
30
down?
pounds.
30 pounds
yeah.
and what?
In
what
probably 70, 90 days.
30 pounds in 90 days. And what do you contribute that to? Because you were going to the gym.
I think it was you talking shit to me and holding me accountable, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm glad you talk shit on me. And I remember the day where I said, fuck this, was when you took that picture and my gut was hanging out. And after that day, yeah.
No, yeah, positive peer pressure. But no, dude, it's been, you said a word that I like to talk about and that has really shifted everything for me, and it was alignment.
Right.
Because you're like, yeah, I was doing all these things that were in alignment. I was working, I was doing all this stuff, but at the same time, I was doing these other things that aren't in alignment with the other stuff, you know. And the other day I was at the gym, and I like to journal when I'm at the gym, and I wrote down the gym. The gym is not just the gym. It's like, am I in alignment with the work that I'm doing at the gym when I'm not at the gym?
Right.
Does that make sense? I know that was a lot there, but it's like like I would go work out super hard for like an hour and a half, right? And crush it at the gym. So it's like, okay, I did my gym work and everything there is done, but then the rest of the day, I wasn't doing the things that were supporting the work that I just did at the gym, like not having enough water, drinking, like not drink. I don't drink alcohol, but like not drinking my water, way too many energy drinks, not eating good, sleep was off.
Right.
You know, my blood work was all messed up. So when the more that I fell in alignment with that, and then you take that same principle and it's like, okay, well, where else in my life, in my business, am I doing that very thing? Like I'm sitting here grinding, working my ass off and putting in all the work, but then I'm cheating myself out of the results because I'm not the other areas in my life or the other, you know, however many hours are in the day that you're not doing that one thing. You're not doing shit that's in alignment with it. Right. So it's like this, it's gas and brake at the same time.
I think what you just said, everyone needs to write down. I mean, that right there was something. You go and do these things and then you leave doing the good things and your bad habits come back. And like you said, the gas and the brake, that's stuck with me. One thing I think with being in alignment is I was over here doing these things, right? And you checked me on this probably about 4 or 5 months ago, was my environment.
That's where I was going to
Everything was good over here, but then I would leave the day to day and going back into my bad environment, bad friends, bad peer pressures, you know, and what has holding me back the most. Was a bad environment.
The people you're around.
Yeah. And now look at my environment. I don't hang out anymore. Like all those people are gone. Don't do any of that. And look how much better my life is. Like the woman that walked into my life and all these other things that have been good. Business is dominating for me. Like I've never made this much money and
the last 90 days you've been slingshotted. But let's go back to the environment because I talk about that a lot. And it's, you know, one of the things I monitor the most, especially with just being type A, high pressure, high anxiety, just, you know, the way that I am, like trying to maintain my energy in the environment and the people that are around me is really important. Otherwise I'll lose the mental game. But you would go do the stuff and then, you know, I think what people don't want to do is they want this new life, but they don't want to give up the old life.
And I didn't want to.
And the problem with that is when you're trying to go do the new life or the new version of you, the growing version of you, like something has to change. And that first thing is your environment. And when you start shifting your environment and the environment that you're in, they know the version of you that they like. Your whole environment, no matter what it is, right? So it's like when you start moving away from that, like number one, it's hard because you're leaving an environment that you like, relationships or whatever that you're comfortable with. You feel there's loyalty there, but then the whole crab in the bucket thing happens, and then it's like not only are you making a hard choice to like, hey, I got to give this stuff up to go where I want, but then you're going to get criticized for it, and I think that's like where a lot of people struggle when they're making that shift. So like, what have you experienced through that process?
I mean, exactly what you just said. Like all my friends would be talking shit like, hey, you're so much different now. What's going on? We want the old you back. Where's Peps at? Like just all this bullshit. And it's just, I allowed myself to walk back into the bad environment for the past 3 years. Yeah. You know, I dropped my environment probably about 5 months ago and my whole life looks different. That criticism that they gave me, I didn't take well, so I just walked right back into it, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm glad you were honest about that too, because it's whoever's listening to this or watching this, like, you know exactly what he just said is true for you too. 100% it's true for you as well. And that's why we stay where we stay, is because it's hard to make that decision, but then now you're not even being supported in
Right.
in where it is you want to go. And that comes into the next thing I wanted to talk about was like, everything in your environment, especially the people, is like assets and liabilities. And I learned this from Mark Evans and some of the other people that I've learned from, but it's like literally every single thing in your life is an asset or a liability, even all the way down to the super minor things that don't really move the needle a whole lot, but like it's either in the asset column or the liability column. Very, very little is actually neutral.
Question for you, Mike, is what would you say is an asset relationship? Like what in a person is an asset, and then what's a liability? Just so people know, like, hey, this person, they do these things. That's an asset to me. This person, this is not.
I think for me, I only allow assets in my life, business relationships. So first and foremost, above any and everything, is you're in alignment with my core values.
Right.
Like if you don't have integrity and you don't care about the relationship and you don't have like a good moral compass, like you're for sale, your ethics are for sale, your integrity is for sale, like that kicks out the majority of people.
Right.
But so like we have to be in alignment from a core value standpoint. But also, like, are you supportive of what I'm doing or not?
Right.
Even if you're not like giving me anything, just like, because there's plenty of people that I have that, I'm close with or friends with. And it's like, we'll never do business together. I'll never make a dime from them, vice versa. But we support each other, so they're supportive.
So support.
Yeah. So like, are they supportive of who you are and who you're trying to become and all the shit that you're doing? Are they positive and supportive of that? Are they, that's pretty much the biggest thing is like, are they positive and supportive and do they bring value in some way, shape or form? And either they do or they don't.
Right.
I mean, it's not this long like thing that you have to analyze, and you'll find out along the way, like who you connect with. You have your people in your life that you are close with, you're connected with,
right.
And you know that they have your back. Like we all have those relationships, and then you kind of have different. When it comes to relationships, and I've told you this before too, but if you imagine like a bullseye, right? That's kind of how your relationships in your circle is. Like you've got your, the bullseye, which is your close people. That's your family. That's like your close inner circle. And then you have the next one and the next ring and the next ring. And I kind of look at people like that in my life and it's like, where are they in that bullseye?
Right.
And I want to make sure I'm keeping my circle close because I value relationships and I'd rather go deep than wide. But also like that's going to depend on, how much time I put into something, so I'm always gauging like where I'm at in relationship with someone because I want to make sure that I'm keeping that a priority and giving time to it.
Yeah. I mean, you with relationships, I've never seen someone value and handle relationships like you do. Like you talk about it all the time and it literally is your biggest thing, relationships.
Yeah, dude, I've like when I say I built my life and business on it, like I truly mean that, and the thing with relationships too is like you can only fake that shit for so long.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you can only fake being invested into a relationship like for real for so long, and you're going to know, like who's genuine and who's not. So I just try to show up and just be a good dude, and I have my core values that I don't break for, and when I fall into alignment, the right people come into my life, like
right.
you rolled into one of my events, talk about environments, like I first met you came to one of my meetups that we have at the office, once a month.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah. Just so showing up, like guys, he's literally showing up, never met me, knew me online or whatever, shows up to the thing and then comes and introduces himself and says, what's up? And then we talk and then, brought a deal. So then we did a deal together and then, another deal and then a relationship's formed. And then I've been coaching you and kind of helping you out and we do some stuff. And a relationship of value has happened and is happening. Right. And that's literally why you're here doing the podcast. It's why we do deals together. And it's just it's cool for me to see because like watching you do a lot of the stuff that I've helped you with our coaching and then just kind of watching you implement the things that I've learned and that have worked for me and then seeing the results happen has been pretty fucking cool. So when I tell you guys, like, it's about showing up and doing the work, having core values, having daily disciplines and building relationships and doing the right thing, like the more that you've focused on all of that, like, I mean, your life today, let's talk about what you're doing today in every single area because this is lifestyle, build a lifestyle, not just make money.
Right.
Like you're in the best shape you've been in. You're down 30 pounds, How do you feel like spiritually and the relationship with yourself and mentally?
The relationship with myself is great. And I think something you taught me was, I guess, my relationship tapping into my subconscious in the universe. That's something I never knew. And in the past 7 months, I've probably been able to do that. And that has opened doors alone. And I feel happier from that. What was your question?
Just the different areas of life, as you're focused on this stuff, we talk about the daily disciplines.
Oh, the daily disciplines is something, and it's funny because I'll see you make your posts, and when I see you make your posts, I'm like, fuck, did I hit all my shit?
Yeah.
Did I read? Did I journal?
Everyone thinks it's about the selfie at the gym too, and it's like
it
it's not.
It has nothing to do with the selfie at the gym. I think it's holding yourself accountable, but look at what it does to other people that you might not even know. I think it helps other people as well because I know it keeps my ass in check every time I see the picture. I'm making sure, going through my checklist, like I got it done because I can't let this dude get it done and not me, So that's just kind of how I think with that. But
so you've got these daily disciplines that are in alignment with the making sure you're keeping your priorities. So like for business, what are your daily disciplines around business stuff?
As in, elaborate a little more.
What's the shit that you make sure you take care of or handle every day for business?
Right now, because I've got so many rehabs going, it's checking on every rehab to make sure we're on track or a problem that happened yesterday was fixed by today. So right now, I went out and bought a lot of deals, and execution's been hard for me. It's something I've been getting my ass whooped on. Contractors walking all over me. So the past probably 6 months have been solely focused on rehabs and obviously getting new deals and closing out some deals. But
well, dude, that circles back to what we started the show with was failure, So you went out, bought a bunch of deals, bit off a little bit more than you can chew. Now you're having a tough time managing them and just learning the operating side of business and that's one thing, when you move from wholesaling to like flipping and having rentals is
whole different ballgame.
There's not a whole lot of operating of a deal going on in wholesaling. It's like you find the deal, you tie it up, and then you sell it to somebody else versus when you're taking rehabs all the way through, or if you're getting rentals or whatever you're doing, like operating is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But you're going to be really good at it because you're learning by doing. Again, like, guys, listen to that. You learn by doing. This kid is where he's at because he's just been fucking doing it and learning and doing it and making adjustments, and he keeps showing up. And that's why I wanted you on to talk about this because, like, the only thing getting in anyone's way of whatever it is they want is, like, actually doing the work, and you're a prime example of that.
Right.
So back to the daily discipline. So you've got your stuff like that you do every single day that are business related, which is you're primarily focused on rehabs right now. But other stuff would be like writing offers. You're writing offers every day.
Right.
Submitting offers every day. That's something that's a daily discipline in business.
And another thing is following up with relationships.
Yeah.
Reaching out to people. Hey, maybe I haven't talked to this guy in a while. I need to call him. I try and make a couple calls a day to people I haven't talked to in a while.
Yeah. So that's your daily discipline for the business lifestyle bucket, so that you make sure that you're in alignment with your business stuff. So then, like, if you move to, family and relationships, like, what's your daily disciplines around those?
I would say reaching out to family. Obviously, if it's my mom and dad, I see them a lot, so I'm talking with them, telling them I love them. I would say with the family thing, and I probably need to get better at this because I think I lack a little bit in that, in a daily thing, but just following up with them, talking to them, like, I don't know. I haven't really got that in check, to be honest.
Yeah, but what's cool is you have a level of awareness around it now.
Right.
Versus, before you didn't even have a level of awareness around it. So it's like not everything's going to be perfect, but the more that we work on things, the more we're exposed to new information, then you have a new level of awareness. And then once you have a level of awareness around something, then you're no longer ignorant to it. So it's a choice to either work on it or not work on it. So that's cool. All right. Let's talk about Nez, your girlfriend. What's going on with that? Because I watched you, dude, same thing with that. I told you, like, hey man, once you get a good chick in your life, it will affect you in other areas of your life more than you realize it will, instead of just being young and having fun and, talking to multiple girls.
I mean, dude, it pushes me to just want more in everything. Business, I want more out of life. Like, I want more out of everything because I've got this beautiful chick rolling with me, and I say I want to live this life, and now that that chick's there, it's like, this is time to go. It's time to really build this. So I just want more, man. That's it.
So, yeah, but as you've kind of fallen in alignment and been, you know, like, I remember when we first talked, I'm like, hey, where are you at right now in these different areas? And then where do you want to be in these different areas? And we mapped that shit out, and now it's literally unfolding. But that was one of the things was a relationship.
Right.
So I'm stoked to see that going. And a high quality girl too. I told you, like, when you have your shit together and everything's there, like, you're gonna have a high quality chick roll into your life who's gonna be an asset to you. Mm-hmm. Assets and liabilities.
She definitely
so you
is
pick
an
up an
asset.
asset
Keeps
there.
me on my toes. I mean, yeah, it's only benefited me.
And then so health and fitness.
That is like my number one priority on the daily disciplines. Like, I make sure at 5 a.m. I'm waking up. I'm going straight to the gym. I'm going to hit my workout, come home, and I'm going to read and get a clean breakfast in. Once I hit those things, I'm ready to operate for the day.
Because you're just feeling better, huh?
Yeah. Well, I used to eat shitty breakfasts or sometimes not even eat breakfast. Now I make sure 95% of the time I'm getting a clean breakfast in. And once I have that, it's just, like I said, it's putting good fuel in the engine. Like, I just am ready to roll. And doing those things led me to operate better in business, which at the end of the day make more money because I got my health in check. Now I'm making more money.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how
Dude,
these things work? Like, they all tie together.
Yeah, it is. Well, and
people overlook that.
Same thing for me, because I'm down like 40 pounds over the last year and a half.
Right.
But the more disciplined I am, the better I feel. So, like, if I can knock out discipline with getting up, at a reasonable time, and then I can come down and I can read. So I read my daily dose of God book for men, and it's one page. It's got a scripture in it. I send it to you. I read that, and then I read my book, a self-development or a business book, and then I go to the gym. And if I do those three things, like, it massively affects the rest of my day. My days are totally different when I just do those three things: get up, read, gym.
Well, and what else does that do is I feel like it's building discipline. And when you build discipline, that helps you in anything in life. I mean, there's a bunch of shit in business I'm sure you don't want to do, but you have so much discipline. It's like, no, I got to do it,
Yeah, and if you start your day with those easy disciplines, like getting up, it's like not hard to do, It's
like
just,
Wes says, the daily W's.
Yeah.
Or whatever, however he says it.
Yeah. But if you start your day that way, it's easier to roll that, like, so by 9 o'clock, like, you've been up, you've read, you've done your self-development, you've journaled, and you've hit a workout, like, you're rolling into your day just ready to go with all this positive momentum, because you feel good, because you worked out, you've moved your body, you feel good because you've been disciplined, you feel good because you kept the promises you said you would do, like, you did what you said you would do, and that rolls into your day. So that's been huge for me.
I think it's been huge for both of us, and I learned that from you because I was not doing that before.
So it's funny, we start this whole podcast, and this is what I've been telling you and what I'm trying to talk to everybody about all the time, is it's like, it's not about the money or the deals or the real estate or any of that shit. It truly is about just building the dude that's capable of producing all of those things. And that's why it comes back to, like, what are the things that if I do these daily disciplines today, and I do these things today that I know are in alignment with my goals and who I want to become and where I'm going, and then I've got my core values that keep me in check on the way there. It's not a matter of, like, am I going to make it? It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. 100%. Showing up and staying consistent. I saw something from Alex Hormozy, and he was like, the way to success is only showing up, the way to success is showing up and doing the work. And it's, like you said, a matter of when. You're either going to make it or you're going to quit. But either way, you keep showing up and doing the work, you're going to make it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good thing.
So what's the next year look like, you think?
For me, I'm more rental focused right now. So I'm going to go out and buy a lot of rentals.
I like that you're doing that, dude. That's one thing I wish I would have done, is kept more properties. Like, if I would have even kept, 20% of the deals that I've flipped in my career, like, today would be way different. And I've heard that a lot too when I was younger in real estate. And even now, it's like, everyone, if you could talk to them 20, 30, 40 years down the line, they're like, I wish I wouldn't have sold anything.
Right.
But then you get caught up in flipping and having the money, you know? So it's like you have to have today money, but you want to build assets. So I'm stoked to see that you're doing that, dude. And one of the things that you do and above, I mean, and it's why you're doing what you're doing at 20 years old, but like you take action and you listen to shit. Like you listen to what, I mean, you don't always listen because I fight with you all the time about it, but if you think it matters and you think it's important, then you listen and you take action on it. And then you've just continued to do that and built momentum. And that's what I've noticed I've done in my life too. And dude, your trajectory is going to be so much shorter and so much faster because you're doing all of the right things.
Because of someone like you though. And I mean, for everyone listening, like if I think the reason I've been able to reach some sort of success and grow as a person and grow in every aspect of my life is mentors. I've had shitty mentors and you showed me what a good mentor was. And like, there's just no price I could pay you back for what you've taught me, you know?
Well, there is, dude. It's 20% for life. We've talked about that, but no, I appreciate that, man. I really do. But it's every bit as rewarding for me because I've had so many people that were mentors to me, whether they were people that just helped me or all the coaching and stuff that I've paid for and groups that I've paid for. But if people didn't share what it is they're learning and didn't share what's working and don't pass down to others or don't help others with what people have done for them, then like we wouldn't keep progressing. So like, thank you for that. And that's why I do this show, guys. Like this is a spiritual thing for me. It's something that I feel like I've been called to do. And I just want to like provide value because I've had so much of it given to me. And that's what this is about. But there's no shortcut. I think like everyone's always looking for the shortcut or the magic pill or like where's you got to be invited to some fucking special club to like have all the answers and stuff. And that's just not the way that it works.
Not at all.
But if there were to be a shortcut, I would say that it's a mentor or a coach. For sure.
I mean, I feel like that's how I've been able to shortcut some things. Like 3 years into real estate, you know, I've been able to do some things that if I didn't have mentors, I don't even know where I'd be. I mean, where would you be without any of your mentors that you've had? If you took away all your mentors, where you would not be where you are today.
No. It would be much. It's hard to even say because you have so many mentors along the line. But what I do know is that as you expose yourself to more and new information, and if you're doing the things we've talked about, like you should be getting exposed to better information, right? Mm-hmm. But the more information you get exposed to, the more your level of awareness rises, the more that you're going to be able to choose into life and to try into life. And the more that like I lean in and the more that I do that, the better things get. And the more that I take action on the information that I have or I absorb it, like more of it just keeps coming. And that's how we grow. So, yeah, dude, mentors are everything, bro. Well, what else do you got before we wrap up the show?
I think that's it.
Is that it?
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, man, not really.
I feel like we've done good. We've talked about a lot. We jumped a little bit, but this will be edited out.
No, we're going to leave this in the show because like that's one thing I like to show. Everyone likes to show this perfect Instagram world where every deal is good and it's all clean and everything fucking works out all the time.
That is not how it goes. I've had rehabs that I thought I was going to fly through and just absolutely not gone to plan at all.
Yeah. You know, another thing that what I think of as you say that is how valuable is trust but verify?
Oh, God. On everything. It's very important. I mean, look, you saw me fumble with these contractors. They tell me this, I got 20 guys. Yeah. We show up and work. I've seen a little bit of his work. I put trust in him and I didn't verify him. What happened? Fucked me on like 4 rehabs. Yeah.
But that's everything. And it's, you know, you want to be showing up in integrity and good core values and with good intentions, you know, in everything that you're doing in life. But the reality is you got to trust but verify, man. Like so many people say one thing and do another. And that's what I love so much about our new real estate group that's coming out with our tagline, Be About It with Levi. Just be about it, exciting, man.
I think if I have one thing or a couple of things to say to people, it's show up, do the work, never quit, hire mentors.
Show up, do the work, never quit, hire mentors. I think we can end the show on that. So where can everyone follow you at?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, Brendyn the Closer, and on Facebook, Brendyn Pepper.
Brendyn the Closer, huh? We'll see. I don't know. We might.
Hey, you've seen me close some deals.
That might
you
get
can't
revoked.
lie.
We'll see. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I hope you're finding value from the show. And if you do like the show, if you are getting value, please like it, share it. Follow me on Instagram at michael.burns with a Z. If there's anything I can do to help you, please hit me up. If you got opportunities, that's why I'm here doing this. I just want to create a community of value around the idea of building the lifestyle that you like. So in the meantime, go build a lifestyle, and we'll see you next time. Hey guys, thank you for taking the time to listen to the show. I appreciate all the love and support. As always, if you like the show, please leave me a review, share it with a friend. And if there's anything I can assist you with, please reach out. I'm here to help. And until then, go build a lifestyle.